Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Ava, aka Queen Midas Life Alchemist, and I'm here with my lovely friend, Liz. How are you, Liz?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Lots of transitioning, lots of energy out here right now with all these CMEs and all this.
Right.
Uh, Everybody going through a lot of shifts and changes. Yeah, but we
Yeah.
can talk about some of that.
Mars is in Gemini, if
Yes.
that makes any sense to
Yeah, yeah.
anybody. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense a lot in my world because my husband is a Gemini. So anyway,
Um, y'all, so today we're going to talk about something I almost said really special, but I mean, it is special, but it's super relatable. And I really felt like, it was something important to touch on. So we're going to talk about learning from our triggers. And this is a really important part of spiritual maturity, emotional maturity, uh, mental maturity, just like
growth in
growing.
general.
Yes. So Liz and I, if you all did not see any of our posts on either YouTube or TikTok, we got to meet in person in New York last weekend at the Reawaken America tour, and that was just amazing. Lots of uh, truthers there that a lot of people know, and all just really beautiful souls. Well, majority of beautiful souls, like more often than not. It was amazing interactions and just like really divine connections being made. And I mean, Liz and I are like real friends now in real life, so it's cool to be like meeting people. So we went to a dinner on Friday night, and we were sitting at a table with quite a few like big dogs, and there was a woman there who at the end of dinner, I ended up moving to the opposite end of the table to sit next to Liz and Warren, who hi Warren, if you end up watching this, Warren is one of the founders of PPN,
Co-creators, I don't know,
of Patriot Party News. So hello everybody. And also, Liz and I formed really cool connections with them. So we will be expanding on that like later down the road. But yeah, lots of cool things. Anyway, so I moved down to that end of the table just to talk to Liz and Warren, because I was at the opposite end between two men who were kind of just like yelling across the table. And like I was trying to just enjoy my steak. But I got to move to the other end of the table and get yelled at. So I'm sitting there talking.
One way or another, you were going to get yelled at that
night. It was like, wake up. The universe is like, time to stretch and grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking to Warren. He's wanting to know about my channel. And if you all have watched my channel for a while, like I had been doing, I have three shows that had tarot and oracle readings on them, and really interesting conversations that I was having with him, because he was just wanting to know more and like understand exactly what tarot was, and Liz was kind of jumping in, helping to explain it. She was like, they're cards with pictures on it that have meanings. I was like, that
simplify it.
Like,
I speak lots of languages.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, sweet. Thanks for coming in clutch there. And yeah, so we're talking, and then this lady next to me, which I didn't even I forgot she existed. And then I don't even know what she said first, but she starts asking about what I do, I think, and asking about my channel. And then I start to talk about the readings. Okay, so when I talk about my channel, you all, I started out with how that I empower people to become their own healer and be active in their self-healing journey and their soul evolution. And I help with that empowerment. I don't go straight into the whole tarot oracle thing because that can be a touchy subject for people. I don't know how it got to that, but it came out. I think she heard us talking, and then she just looks down the table, and I was like, all right, well, that turned her off. Oh my goodness. It actually turned her on. Okay.
It activated her.
She was like, ding, 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 like energy levels 2,000%. So Liz, Warren, and I are just in our own world talking. And then this lady gets on me with the word of God and fire and brimstone and all this other stuff. And mind you, if you've been on my channel, I've talked about before how I grew up in church. I grew up Southern Baptist, born again believer at the age of 8. You know, so I it's not like I was ignorant to all of those things. And I did my best to stay calm in the situation because she was just very elevated.
This is Ava's face.
The
whole time. She was like,
I'm like, lady, can you keep this together? Like, right, I mean,
you were doing great though. You were like, I don't agree, but you know, can we stop talking about this place?
And loud, like this woman's voice carried, and it was like the 30-year smoker voice, and just like loud across the.
And she was right there next to you.
Yeah.
Too. So there was no there was no reason for that.
and I was just like, I brought up, you know, my truth. I grew up in the church, you know, like she was dropping scripture and stuff. I'm like, yeah, okay, yes, I agree with that. And I was like, however, I believe that other tools can also be used to help lead people through their healing. And then I was like, I don't believe that God is limited to certain, like a book or a building. Or, you know, whatever. And God can use whatever to bring messages forward to people. And I was like, I've actually had a lot of really good experiences with breakthroughs with people. And I have testimonials to prove that, you know. And so I was just being challenged. And I don't know how long this went on for, maybe 20 minutes, to the point where, y'all, I don't smoke cigarettes, but like, a couple guys got up to go smoke a cigarette. I'm like, me too. And I was like, I'm going too. And like, that was just my exit point. So, and Liz and Warren was like doing his best to change the subject. Yeah. Like quiet and like trying to like shift the energy to positive stuff on her own, like, silently. Yeah.
I was like, I'm trying to move this, access my crown chakra, get this negative energy out of here. It wasn't working.
Wild. And every time we thought it was over, it was just a silent phase for her to amp back up, like, and come back 10,000 times % more.
Well, it was just funny too, because like the whole dinner, I was across from her and I was, you know, interacting with her because she was right there, and she had a headache and she was just kind of like tired, and then all of a sudden, Energizer Bunny, like it was strange.
It was very strange. So say what you said when you were, what you talked about, like how you knew it was like spiritual warfare going on there.
I'm trying to remember. It usually when I can shift, usually I can like shift the atmosphere when I start like accessing like my chakra zones. Basically, I'll just like move it around and go through my chakras basically, and that usually changes the atmosphere in general, because I like project I don't know what you call it, I expand myself out further, so I'm like releasing the positive energy and stuff like that. And it was like she would get quiet and I was like, oh, it's working. Nope. She'd go right back again. And I'd keep doing it. And she was like, and it just I mean, the only way I could describe it is like her inner demons were speaking. Like that's all. Like usually when I can affect something, it's because I have some kind of authority or stake in it, but I didn't for some reason. I was like, I don't know why. I don't know what this is. But later on we kind of came to a conclusion that you know, was actually really powerful. I don't know if you want to go into that, but
yeah. So yeah, that was it was like something totally came over this woman. Like she
yeah.
super judgmental, like attacking everything, didn't want to hear anything. And then she kept following me. Like she kept interacting with me, and I'm trying to cut this energy off.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, well, that's again how you, well, yeah, maybe this is what you wanted me to say, how you kind of know that someone, it's not someone logically speaking or trying to talk to a person, because they're not interested in hearing your side at all.
No.
Like, there's no reasoning. It's like talking to a toddler. Like, it's like just like only what I want, you know, kind of thing. And that's usually how you can, or how I can at least differentiate if there's like even a chance that this is like a logical, based out of something substantial kind of attack.
Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't, because there was no quieting her down, there was no reasoning with her, anything, energy or with Ava speaking, because she was being very respectful. She was just like, I agree to disagree, you know, like, come on, you know, like, let's stop this is getting out of hand, you know. So yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah. I was just letting her say her spiel, and I'm like, all right,
Yep.
cool. So it definitely challenged my poise, you know, during a situation like that, and my tact, you know, remaining, you know, staying tactful and poised, and still speaking my truth, you know, and not allowing dogma or somebody's programming or somebody's attachments to overpower me. So
Yeah.
that was really interesting. Gosh, I learned so much from this, and it's actually really cool. Like, it was the
Yeah.
weirdest, most uncomfortable thing, but like I'm like so thankful for it, because
Yeah.
it shifted something in me, and it shifted my course, and it actually was confirming some things that I had been toying with, or like, you know, spinning in my mind. It taught me to stay true to myself while being respectful and keeping an open mind, because I was letting this woman speak. You know, I was like, well, maybe she'll to say something that I don't know, or like maybe she just needs to be heard.
Right.
You know? It also, I you know, when my boundaries were disrespected over and over again, that's when I took that cigarette break, my false cigarette break, and I, you know, created physical boundary, and I left, which surprisingly, like I was out there talking to Warren and Charlie, and 10 minutes later pops this woman, and she came outside too, but she came outside to apologize.
Yep.
And then was like
Yeah, I was at the table while she talked to someone that she was, I guess, worked with or knew, and she was like, "Are they talking about me out there?" And he's like, I don't know. He wasn't there, so like he had come up from another table, and he even told her, he was like, you know, the best way to change someone's mind is like, you know, to have a conversation and plant the seed, and like, and she's like, yeah, like maybe I shouldn't have done that, like, like it was kind of like, maybe I should go apologize. I mean, it literally was like something took over her, and I find it really funny because later on when me and Ava were talking about it, I was like, you know, like maybe I couldn't interrupt it just because that was what's supposed to happen to shift you and wake you up, which is so funny because it's just like, of course, like God can use anything.
exactly.
But it's hilarious that it came in that way.
That form.
And it just shows your spiritual maturity in the sense that you saw it that way. You also didn't scream back at her, but you also, you know, you also had the minute to think, is there something that needs to change? Like, what was this, you know? And you took it as that kind of shift in a sense.
Yeah. So, I like to talk to the alchemists on this channel about finding the lessons and everything. And what I've been learning lately, because there have been a few interesting interactions that I've had over the past few months, where like when somebody's going off, I'm immediately having a conversation with spirit, with God, with universe, whatever you want to call it. And I'm asking for my lessons in this situation, and I'm asking for the truth to be highlighted, because people will speak out of hurt, out of feeling threatened, out of triggers, out of whatever attachment is or entity it might be speaking through them. And so projections, so those things, I just get straight to the point, and I'm like, look, could I please have my lessons highlighted to me and highlight the full and complete truth? It's that way, you can filter out all the other BS and low vibrational, low frequency fluff and puff and whatever is put in there that has nothing to do with you. That is a projection of the other person. But
but at the same time, it's also like, once you kind of start realizing that people, really every situation and thing in your life is a form of a mirror. And it's like, I mean, what you did with like, what's my lesson in all of this is exactly what everybody needs to be doing, because like the only reason that's being projected to you is because it resonates with something inside of you, maybe even the dark crap, something inside of you need to deal with. And I mean, we've talked plenty of times about like religious trauma and upbringing and all that kind of stuff, and deprogramming, all of that business. But yeah, I just feel like if more people could understand that, like, whatever you encounter is some sort of reflection of you, some sort. It might not be like verbatim, but it's some sort to get you to wake up and to get you to see that side of yourself that you probably have never seen before.
Yeah. And I found personally that when I ask for those lessons, I'm able to move through those cycles quicker and be grateful, and I guess like humbled in it, and then also be grateful and shift the energy. Instead of being in like a victim mode, it's empowering, because you're asking for the lesson and you're learning and you're getting clarity, and what you do with that from there is up to you, free will for everybody. But it helps with soul evolution, and that's like, that's what I'm here for. That's what this channel is about, you all. And that's why I really felt like I was like, Liz, I feel like we need to do a video on this, because there's so much in it. And so you touched on religious trauma, and that I'm going to start with something else. So with the tarot cards and the readings and everything, I have been having a conversation with Warren earlier that day about how when I talk about my channel or what I do, I don't start out with that, because it's not going to resonate with everybody, especially being at the Reawaken tour. It's a lot of conservative Christians in the Patriot Party, period. And that's okay. I get it. I grew up that way, so I can resonate with that to an extent. So
in a way.
And so it's really interesting that and even before that, I've always known that tarot and oracle was not the end all be all for my empire that I am building. And I'm claiming that over my life, and I've seen it since I was a child, so I'm going to tell you all right now. And I've just always knew that I'm so much more, and I'm the tool. Like I'm like cards, pendulum, whatever, all these other things are just extensions of what we can already do on our own when we connect to God, when we connect to source. And ultimately they should teach us to step into our own power and just, bring forward the messages and the healing and the guidance straight from our mouths, and not with other tools, and that's fine, and that's beautiful, and that in itself is empowering. So that's something that I have been like spinning my wheels over already, and then having the conversations with Warren, and then kind of seeing like, am I like ashamed of telling people that I read tarot? Because it's interesting, and this is not bashing any readers or anything. I think there is beauty in it as well, and there's a, it works for some people, and I've experienced very healing things for myself, and when I'm doing it with others. So this is not against anybody. This is a platform for whoever resonates with it. But what was I saying?
Tarot's not the end all be all.
Yeah.
And being ashamed of telling people that.
And I think for me, it's because I knew that I was supposed to expand past it, and it happened way quicker than I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I had already started to feel like the energetic like pre-shifts, a month or so before, just like with things that were happening in my life. And then everything just like accelerated on this trip. So and then that altercation at dinner, which wasn't like a physical altercation, but an energetic one, was just like, yeah, girl, you're on the right path with that. Like, now's the time to it was literally, it was like course correcting me. And and I actually really appreciate the way that it happened, because I'm the type of person, like, just give me the freaking truth. I can understand people wanting to sugarcoat stuff, but like, look, I don't have time for that. I'm looking to continue elevating. I'm looking to continue shifting and evolving my channel, and making the content better for the people, and being able to reach and be heard by more people, and ultimately create coaching products and whatever, and like from a point of real authenticity. And I didn't feel like I was being fully authentic by hiding behind cards. That's literally just came to me. And I really feel like that was God, like, it's time, girl, like, step up, step out. And especially with the connections I was making, like all these big patriot connections, and I'm getting opportunities to go on these big platforms, and it's like, it's time to refine your message. It's time to refine the way you're presenting yourself, and really be true about who you are and your authenticity. And I was connected with another woman who's got a pretty big platform, and she is the one who dropped the term religious trauma on me. And I had not thought about that before. And it's interesting, because it made me feel like that was like a form of rebellion, doing cards or anything, because of religious trauma. And that's just what I'm using to like depict it. Like, somebody feels like they're being pushed into something, so they're going to go do something else to like make somebody mad. But I was like, wow, I've never put that term on myself, but I totally get it. So now I was gifted with that truth too, of another area that I can start working on and healing, is the religious trauma that I didn't realize that I'd never pinpointed. So just so much came from that. And it's better for me. It's going to be a lot better for you all, for the viewers, because of like, y'all are I'm right here shifting and growing with you all. So it's really interesting. And I would love for you all to stick around, because I won't be doing cards anymore on my channel. But the content's going to be just as good, and actually probably way better. So, I would love to have you all still around, but whatever it is, that's what it is. And I just really wanted to share our experience, because we bonded over that.
I mean, how can you not?
I know.
I mean, I think that's like, so many people like start YouTube channels or just like create content in general. It's so inauthentic. And I think that people, I mean, we have it just bombarded at us 24/7 with, TV and like reality TV shows. I mean, they're not even real, and, fake news to all that jazz, like people are just begging for the real thing. And that's why even on my channel, like I like had an idea of like a way, like a a format that I would like go, but like if I'm not feeling it, I'm not pushing it. Like I'm not. Because it feels so inauthentic when I push it. When I
Oh
like,
my
oh, I
gosh.
have to speak. Well, it's muting you.
Okay. Our speed attack.
I can't even hear it. That's why I keep talking. So I hope it got all that. But yeah, it's like it feels so authentic when I feel like I have to do something that's supposed to flow out of creativity and growth and learning and a journey and everything. And then when I like put myself in these boxes of I have to do this video and this video and this video, I have to grow my following, whatever. It's like that's not me either. Like I'm I feel like I'm trying to give a realistic point of view of going through something and like kind of like the timing that I'm going through it. I mean, there's plenty of things that I talk about that I've known for a while, but a lot like recently like manifesting, I'm like just now learning all this and it's working. And I'm like, I need to share this with people. Like this is exciting. Like the video I put out today about, about something that we talked about, just completely like changing like whatever you feel almost victimized by, like turn it into a manifestation like of something positive. Um, but yeah, like that, it all kind of birthed out of the divine feminine flow that I've like started stepping into. And I feel like that's what people are craving is, women to be women, men to be men. And really getting in touch with that divine feminine, that divine masculine, whatever it is. And create things out of abundance and not lack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's been like the topic of like the week. I mean,
Yeah.
oh my god, we just met last
So funny. No, we've known each other a week and a half
a week
ish.
and a half.
Ish. I
Since
mean, we've known each other.
when?
We've
Like
known of each other before that, but not like
not in person
Yeah.
and talk like pretty much all day, every day.
We do.
But yeah, like the topic of abundance, the topic of divine feminine and like speaking, manifestation and speaking truth and like life over ourselves and the things that we're cultivating and like learning from our lessons, so this has just been such a wild ride and like a really awesome journey. It's really cool. And I love that you brought the divine feminine because well, I guess perfect segue. So yeah, Liz and I decided that we're going to start actually doing videos on that where we're just talking about life and like our life experiences and things that we're working through and related, making it relatable to you all, but through the eyes of the divine feminine. And men, the guys that are here, this could be valuable to you as well, because I mean, the more you know, the more the easier it might be for you to relate to women, the easier it might be able for you to embrace your divine feminine. But because we do have masculine and feminine within us, and those energies should be balanced, but we're so distorted and everything, and just everything. So this really is for everybody, and it's relatable to everybody. So
and it ties so well into religious trauma, let me just say.
Yeah, totally.
So well,
with the divine feminine being taken out of the Bible and church and rules.
And just like the way women are supposed to be in most like religious circles, and even the way that men are supposed to be in a lot of, it's just so twisted and wrong.
Mhm.
It's just, you know, I mean, I've learned so much in the last year. And it's funny because one of the very first t-shirts that I created, I think that you have that t-shirt, is the Divine Feminine one.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what I was talking about. It was like almost like a little prophetic activation that my spirit did to create this like little image on this t-shirt when I didn't even know what I was talking about, like quite honestly. But I've like learned so much, and it's changed every aspect of my life, every single aspect, just even tapping into Divine Feminine, because I was so tapped out of it. So tapped out of it. You know, I won't get too much into it because I don't want to take away from any other videos, but it literally has completely altered the course of my life just from being who I was essentially created to be and acting out of that energy that I never was in tune with before.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a good episode. Episodes. And I feel like, you know, I definitely don't know all of it. I'm still ever evolving in it. And I think you probably always will be. But I am enjoying the journey, and I'm enjoying like to see like, you know, Ava's perspective of it, you know, because it seems like that's the topic of conversation in a lot of my friends recently. So it's like it's rising up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, so is the masculine.
Yeah.
We need each other.
We need each other. We need
So,
each other.
Because, you know, so much, I've said this before to Ava, but so much of the Divine Feminine talk has turned into a weird form of feminism. And it's not that.
No.
It's really not. We're not equal, and we're not and we're meant to be different. And that's where the power lies, I believe.
Yeah.
So
agreed. I was gonna say something else about that. I don't know. I forgot. But yeah. So, religious trauma. For anybody here that is still in the church, still religious, we're not bashing you all, just to let you know. We're Liz and I are just speaking from our experiences, and we don't hate church people. Like,
no, not at all.
We're both friends and acquaintances with people from church groups and what, and you know, it's not that. We're just talking about our experiences, and the corruption that is within religion has caused a lot of trauma within a lot of people, probably more people than we realize. So that's what we're bringing. We were just kind of touching on, not bashing anybody per se.
No, they're like, I've said this way too many times in the last week, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's very much like there is good in everything. You can't just like look at something and like demonize the entire thing. I mean, I'm still very much connected to Christianity in a way. I call it kingdom mindedness, and being who we were created to be. And a lot of that has ties to the Bible and the stuff that I was taught, but just like in a way that makes way more sense.
Yeah.
And connects to all things spiritual as well, and like slightly new agey stuff. And you know, I believe we all came from God, and we all knew what we were going to sign up for being here. You know, he's the King of Kings, so that means we're meant to be kings as well. You know, we're from a kingdom kind of thing. So that's kind of, I very much feel like a lot of my mission in life is to connect both worlds, like people in Christendom and people in the New Age community. And there is a very cool middle ground.
Yeah.
Because everything that the New Age does is what Christians are supposed to be doing.
It was Gnostic Christianity before.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's just like kingdom mindset is, or kingdomness is like Christianity without limits and
without
limitations.
religion.
That's
what I say. I just say it's Christianity without religious boxing.
Yes. Yeah.
And I still hold true to that because it's been the realest thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been it's been the realest, truest thing to me. I mean, I've told Ava before, like I literally never felt like I didn't know God ever. I came out knowing him and I didn't understand why the other people didn't. like Yeshua and all that stuff. I used to tell my mom I had conversations with him on my bed. I would tell him, I would, go to her and be like, I call, obviously when I was little, I called him Jesus, but I was like, I was talking to Jesus on my bed and he told me this, and this, my first word other than mommy and daddy was angel. Like I used to see stuff. I mean, I still do, but it was like, I was always connected to the kingdom, always. And then church put me in a little box and then I had to undo the little box again. And now I'm kind of back to what my inner child already authentically knew.
But that is so cool. Cool. Yeah. I just got exposed to kingdom stuff last year through one of my friends last year. And because like I just was not going to church at all. I was like, I'm over it. And then she took me to this thing that she was graduating from a group, whatever from. And it was just really interesting to see Christianity presented that way. And I was like, this seems way more free. It's not rigid. It's more fitting.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that I was actually like not going in like super closed up and like, I don't want anything to do with this. Right. It felt like something that I could breathe and actually hear.
Yeah.
I wasn't like closed off to it because it was like you said, like segueing or like meeting that middle ground between like spirituality and Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems like a healthy mixture, honestly.
Yeah. And I mean, it's just one of those things when it rings true in your spirit, like you can't deny it. Mm-hmm. Like when you learn that like you can go places in the spirit and like some people call it like astral projection or whatever. It's like you can do that. You can totally do that. You don't even need a cord, kind of thing. Because you're connected to source, God, and you don't need it. But it's just it's way more outside the box and way more freeing. And I was just sick and tired of being in a freaking box.
Gosh, yeah.
I literally like said to God, I was at a conference of a very like big charismatic person, and I was like, if this is it, I'm done. This is boring. I'm so bored. Mm-hmm. And then literally a few months later, I was opened up to all of this and I was like, this is it. There's so much more to this.
Yeah.
So much more. Anyways.
Yeah, it allows us to be limitless. So that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Awesome.
Covered a lot of topics there.
I know, but it's cool because we are.
You guys should hear our Marco Polos. They're just like
I know
rants that are like 15 minutes long and we go on so many different tangents.
It's cool though.
And then we'll respond back to each other over text while the other person's talking. And then we'll do another video.
It's awesome. Great. I love it. Yeah, so is there anything else you want to add to that before we wrap this up?
I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. Liz, where can the alchemists find you?
The Lizolive Show. Or I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Telegram.
Is it the same on
Twitter.
all of those?
It's not on Telegram. Telegram's the only one that's different. And it's question everything on Telegram. I just followed you on your channel, so
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll follow you back. I don't even know where my phone is. You can change your name though, right?
yeah, I'll probably change it. So
Okay,
it's
cool.
the Lizolive show by the time this comes out.
Right. Awesome. I'm on TikTok now. I'm at TikTokin, and then I'm on Telegram as well, and I'm Queen Midas Life Alchemist on everything. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you so much for being here, Liz. I'm really excited for just all of the shifts and transitions that we're going through, that the collective's going through.
Yeah. And it's hilarious that we're going through them together. Very similar things. Very similar.
Girl, we got on like loaded the rocket ship together.
Yeah.
And we're just like
what I thought about also, I'm physically pregnant, you're spiritually pregnant.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's interesting. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Liz, for being here. We'll see you soon. And yeah, you are sovereign, powerful, worthy, and loved. Please remember that. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe on both my channel and Liz's channel. If you're not following her yet, please go subscribe to her. Yeah, and share the love, y'all, because we're out here supporting the community, and the more that we are interacting on these platforms, the more it puts it in front of more people to learn and grow and heal, and that's ultimately the goal at the end of the day. So thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye.
Every day.